Alright everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Arch and Column Builder tutorial. We are going to continue now. You should have your quad built like this. So go back to from the all view, just like this is what you should have on your screen. Let's go ahead and Control A to select all, and then go to the build option, and we are going to group. And what we've done again is created a group of these 4 balloons, and what we can do now is manipulate them as a group. So I like the bottom of my column to be square to the base of the column. So I'm going to rotate this right away 45 degrees. So go to Edit, Rotate, and there's no 45-degree option, so go ahead and go to Rotate Custom, and then under the Y-axis type in 45, click OK, and then we're going to build Ungroup, and then build Group. And what that does is resnaps the box real nice and neat around our quad, just like that. Okay. So we need to start stacking these up, just like we're going to use the Control Paste option, just kind of like we did with the toolbox earlier. So we're going to keep this grouped because we're going to work with these as quads. So go ahead and select this bottom quad, and then we're going to go Control C, Control V, and then with the Move tool selected and the Y-axis isolated, click and drag out that second quad just like we did in the toolbox. All right. Now we need to turn that 45 degrees so it nests into the quad below it. Go to Edit and Rotate Custom. On the Y-axis, 45, click OK, and that's going to get and turn that 45. You look from the top view, you got the cool kind of start of some bulk decor here. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to get this top quad to nest neatly into this bottom quad, and we can't really tell how much the balloons are touching, how close, how tight we want to make things. So I like to be pretty precise. So what we're going to do is in the materials editor over here, we're going to double click on new, and we're going to bring up the materials editor. Don't worry about any of these other numbers or anything. We're just going to make a quick material just for some construction purposes. So all we care about is this transparency number. We're going to change that to 0.25 and click OK. And then with that material selected and this top quad selected, go ahead and click Apply. And what that will do is apply that transparent texture to this top quad. Okay, the next thing we need to do is make this bottom quad a different color so it stands out a little bit more. So we're going to double click on New again, and then just create a color just by dragging this down. I'm going to drag it down into the blue and then grab this here, and you can run this up and down. Put it right in the middle, I don't know, right around there, get this kind of blue color going on. Don't worry about naming it. We want our transparency to be 1. We want this to be solid. Go ahead and click OK. And then with that material selected, you're going to select the bottom quad and click Apply to apply that texture to the bottom quad. So now you should have 2 different colors like this. And what that does is make it easy for us to see how the 2 quads are colliding, and that'll make sense here in a second. So go ahead and select this top quad. Grab your Move tool, and you can drag this up and down. Make sure your Y is isolated. And this is snapping to 1/4 inch increments still as you move it, so everything will be nice and neat. So from the top view, what you're going to see as I move this down, when this clear material collides with the bottom material, you actually see some distortion on the face. There it is right there. See that? See how that gets bigger and smaller? That is how much I am passing through the bottom 3D image. I can pass all the way through it if I want to, just like that. Alright, so we go back up, and I'm going to drag this down until I just see that collision. Just right there. Not colliding, colliding. So I want just that little dot, just like that. You want to keep this minimal. This keeps everything nice and tight and packed, but you don't want a whole lot of distortion. So that's where I usually put things together, is just like that. We're going to go stay on the selection tool, keep the Y isolated, and we're going to hit Control A again to select all. And now we've selected both the top excuse me, and bottom quads. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then with the Move tool, pull out that second pair of quads now. And then from the front view, you're going to watch here, and you will see that same blue dot. You may have to go to front single view and move this up and down, and you'll see it just show up right there. I don't know if you can see that on your screen or not, but I get just the same little dot that I have on the bottom. I now have it on the top. That's where I want to be. Another quick trick too is if you look at this nice little triangle shape right here, it's identical on the top and on the bottom on these. So you know your spacing is good. Okay, now we need 8 of these. So we've done 4. So we're going to do Control A again to select all, Control C, Control V, and then use the Move tool, Y isolated, and drag this one up and out. And using that same technique, we're going to look for that little dot that tells us it's just touching. Now let's go to the object viewpoint and then click on the frame view and then kind of deselect everything. And now as you can see, we've got the start of a column. Now it's kind of ugly because of these goofy colors we have in here. So what we'll do now is go to your materials over here, double click on the colors you just made, and there's a delete option. Go ahead and click delete. You're going to say OK because you know it's on something, and then double click the other one, delete, and say OK. And what that does is gets rid of those, and you're back to the bare bones gray models again, and you have no goofy colors hanging out in your Arch and Column Builder program. Alright, so go back to the View All. So this is what you should have now, is a nice stacked column. So what we need to do now is we need to actually select and group the balloons in a spiral. This is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is kind of a tricky thing to do here. So let's do select all again, Control A, and we want to ungroup all these quads. So we're going to go to Build and Ungroup, and what that does is turns everything back into single individual balloons that we can just click on and select. Okay, if you right-click, I'd mentioned this earlier, if you right-click, you can select multiple objects, just like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be working in the perspective view. So go to your perspective view and select one view. Oh, by the way, we should be saving as we go. So let's go ahead and save our project right now. So File and Save to save the project. I always forget to do that, and I'm terrible about it, and things are going to crash, and I'll be upset because I lost everything. Okay, so please continually save as you're working, especially when you hit like a milestone, like we did. So if you go to the Object Viewpoint tool, and there's a Rotate option you can select here. Let's go ahead and reselect the X, Y, and Z by right-clicking on them, enabling them. And now we can go over here and click and drag, and we can spin our column. This is going to be very critical because we need to spin it to select the balloons in the twist. I always have a habit of basically going counterclockwise, so that's the direction I'm going to go. So you want your selection tool available just like this, and I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to right-click the first balloon, and I'm going to go down and do this all the way around to I can't see the balloons on the back. Well, I can rotate without unselecting, so go back to your viewpoint tool and rotate. Come over here and carefully rotate this around until I can see these bottom 3 balloons, and then I'm going to go back to the selection tool and then right-click, do not left-click, right-click, right-click, right-click. If you mess up and you select the wrong balloon as you're going around, yes, you do have to start over. So it can get a little bit frustrating, but you'll get it. So if you've done it right, you should have a spiral of balloons selected all the way around the column, just like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to group those into a group. So go to Build. Sorry, if you go to Build and you can't group, see how this is all grayed out? It's because you're in the viewpoint mode here. So what you're going to want to do is go back to the Object Edit mode and then go to Build and Group. So make sure you're in that mode so you can always build and group. So build and group, and you'll see a big box go around the whole thing, but it's actually not a big box, it's actually just that one spiral. See, there it goes, it disappears. Okay, so we have that one selected. Now if you go right next to it, you can see you've got an individual item again. So let's go ahead and right click on that one, and that one. We're going to rotate this around a whole bunch. Back to the selection tool, click, 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 and I can even grab that bottom one. I'm going to spin it around to make sure I got it right. As you can see, I've got the top and the bottom all the way around. We're going to going to go to the Object Edit, Build, and Group, and then back to the Object Edit, and we can rotate that around. Okay, so we are then going to find the next balloon and click, click. Remember, this is all right-clicking. Again, if you mess up and select and add the wrong object to your group, you have to start over from scratch and start clicking from the top. So all I'm doing is literally going back and forth between the object edit mode and the viewpoint mode. So I'm going back to the viewpoint mode so I can rotate things around and check it out. Looks good. I got that spiral all the way around. So back to the object edit mode, build, and we're going to group that part of the spiral. Unselect. And then as I work my way around here, you can see these are all grouped except for this one. So that's where I'm going to start. Flip that around. Go back to the object edit mode and then right click, right click, right click, right click, rotate. And then right click, right click, right click, build, and group. And we are done. I'm going to go to view all. Let's go to file and save. And so we're going to test this out real quick. This is where you're going to go, hey, that's pretty cool. Go back to your window and go to your window option, go to your toolbox and go to your object, and let's go to your standard colors. And let's put 4 colors into your brand new spiral one twist, 11-inch quad one twist here. So let's pick any colors you want. I'm going to do, let's do primary colors plus green. So I'm going to do blue, red, yellow, and green. And again, I'm right-clicking to select multiple. If you want to grab a different color, select the balloon and just apply that color to it and then grab it and take it with you. Does that make sense? So if you want, let's see, I want to take white. I can take this balloon here and apply white to it, and then I can use that to transport white. Alright, so I'm going to put green back on there because I want to use green. And we're going to use these colors just like that. Blue, green, red, and yellow. Control C to copy. Back to your window. Arch and Column Builder, Control V to paste those balloons in, and then hit delete right away to get rid of them, and that leaves the colors behind like we talked about earlier. Okay, now from the top view, here's where it gets cool. Go ahead and select any one of these 4 balloons wherever you want to start. You're going to see this whole box draw all the way around the entire column. It does that because the object you're selecting fills that whole area. You're not selecting the whole column, you are selecting only one of your spirals, one of your stripes. So we're going to select this top one, and let's go to blue, whatever color you have here, and then click apply. And if you look over here, you see it's in there already. Let's go here and show you real quick. Because you've grouped those, that color is applied to that group, which is this one stripe of blue. Very cool, just like that. Alright, let's go back here, and we're going to select the opposite that, and let's put red opposite the blue, just like that. And let's put green here. And again, I'm selecting the balloon, selecting the color, and clicking the apply button right at the top, just like that. And now if I go over here to my 3D view and spin this thing around, come on, that's pretty cool, right? Alright, so let's go back to all the views, and here's where it gets really cool. Alright, I'm going to go to my view. I'm moving kind of quick here. I'm going to go to the front view only, just like I just did there. So let's go to front, go to your viewpoint, and then use your zoom tool and zoom out a little bit. And then let's move this whole thing down, move the move tool, and then isolate the y-axis, do Control A to select all, Control C, Control V, and now go ahead and use your move tool with the y-axis and drag that second one out. And because it's one twist, when you stack this bad boy on here like this, look at this gap here again. You want this gap to look the same. So I kind of eyeball this really. You can use the 3D, the transparency tool like we did earlier, trick, but I just kind of eyeball it at this point. Make sure it looks good. Probably about right there. All right. There. That's a good one. Okay, so what I've got, because it's one twist, I can start stacking these and make this just huge strip. And I can double that up, copy, paste, drag that out. And you can see how quickly I can just start putting together this big long spiral column. And there's some tools that we can use to actually bend this and make it look like an arch. That'll be in future tutorials. But for now, your 11-inch quad one twist, your first prefab in your arch and column builder is done. So don't save this when you close this because you don't want all this extra stuff in here. What you want is I'm Control Z, I'm undoing right now, is you just want obviously to have this. You don't want any of these colors in here either. So I'm just undoing this real quick. So there you go. So what you have now is your Arch and Column Builder 11-inch quad 1 twist is done. We never named it. Go into your object here, go to options, and then, I'm sorry, object, go to object, go to attributes, sorry, object, go to mode, gosh, go to object, go to properties, wow, and then go over here and you're going to name this 11-inch using the quotes for inch, 11-inch QUAD quad 1 twist. That's what we'll call that. So when you go to your objects now it's correctly named. Wow. Sorry, it's late. I'm tired. Okay, folks, that's it for tonight. That's it for now. I will be back soon with another one. Thank you.